back. We are live. We are live. We are live. Yes, Talk Live is back in session, people. How are you? How is everybody doing out there in YouTube and in IG land? How is everybody going? Everybody doing? Yes, indeed. I got my haircut. I got my clothing changed. Yes, Done Talk is back with their new spring summer line. I'm wearing some of it right now. You'll be seeing a lot of this for the next month or to 2 months. So thank you very much for Done Talk Live for the new shipment, which I've just received today. And yes, we are going to be debuting a lot of their fashions going forward for the next few months. But yes, how is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Yes, we are live. We are live. We are live. We are back here on Talk Live. And yes, I hope you had a good week off. That was a hiatus that I imposed on myself simply because, hey, work needed to be done and needed to stay in the office just a little bit. Let me just change my IG channel, my IG thing. Here we go. Yes. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I had to stay away from Talk just that little bit because, again, duty called. I had to get some work done. And yes, but we are back. We are live. We are live. We are live tonight. Hope everybody's doing well on this first day of the spring equinox. Yes, it is the first day of spring today. I hope you enjoyed it here in these neck of the woods. It was very, very nice. It really was an early spring this year. I don't know if Punxsutawney Phil or what's the Canadian equivalent? Name escapes me. It'll come to me. But yes, first day of spring, really, really, really nice. Yeah, I was hit by a bit of sad news. My neighbor died, and yeah, I had to be attending the funeral arrangements for that. Wasn't exactly, welcome news to say the least. But he was on his way out, so I say condolences to his family, who will remain private because again. Yeah, I wanted to remain it that way. So again, thank you for joining me on Talk Live. We are back. We are live. We are live here on IG and YouTube, ready to go, ready on time today. And today is a special subject. Today is a subject I wanted to go out last week, but couldn't do that last week. Anyways, sponsored by Done Talk, DUNTALK.com. I've already mentioned the new spring summer line is out now on the website. Yes, and I'm wearing some of their fashions, debuting some of their fashions tonight. Yes, and they are really, really good. They're really, really cool. And yes, you can get them now at Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Available to you and yours out there tonight. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get right into it tonight. Talk Live, again, we are celebrating the life of Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, whose birthday was last week. It was last I think Monday, I believe. Yes, because there was a celebration of life for him last Monday night. And that was the last day of our show, was Monday night. And we again, I caught wind of it from my friend Amel, who's a regular viewer here. Shout out to Amel. She had mentioned to me that there was a celebration of life, and I had to be there. So again, it was a show that was quite controversial. We have to get it uploaded on Talk Live about how single women keep women single, part 2. I have a clip on that is quite hilarious, and we're going to get that up on Talk Live. A really, really good discussion we had with one of our viewers last week. Really cool, and I think I'm going to get that uploaded, and you're going to enjoy it as well, along with other clips and other things that we are dealing with right now here on Talk Live. Yes, so thank you for joining me, and we're going to get into this. Kevin Samuels, again, I think he was born in, he was 56-year-old when he died. He was again born as of last week, March 13th. And I believe it was 1968, I believe. Let me just look this up quite quickly. I'm just going to go to my browser now. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. And yes, we're back here. And yes, Kevin Samuels. Let's look him up. He was born, I believe, March 13th, 1968, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yes, internet personality, Kevin Samuels. Well, at least he lived a very, very big life. Anyways, but yes. Yes. We won't live on the death here. He was born. Yes. Oh, here we go. Yes, March 13th, 1969. I was off by 1 year. March 13th, 1969. He was born, and again, he died at the age of 56, I believe. Yeah, I played those numbers a bit. 53. Yeah, I was okay. He died at 53. They say he died at 53. So a bit younger. Okay, some people are saying that Kevin Samuels was born in 1969. Wikipedia, you can see it right here on Talk Talk Live. So Google has him born in 1965. So that would make him 56 at the time of his death. And Wikipedia says he is 63 at the time of his death. But again, nonetheless. But he was born on March 13th. So that was the day of Kevin Samuels' birth. And they did a celebration of life for him. A lot of people contributed to him. And we're asking the question tonight. Of course, we're celebrating the life of Kevin Samuels, number one, who's, I think, one of the more influential African-American, African diaspora members in the world within the last 5 years, especially when it came to subjects about dating, subjects about relationships, and about subjects about manhood within the black community. And again, he was a stalwart of such things. And yeah, we're just celebrating his life today. So let's just get into it here. But yes, it was his birthday last Monday. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the people who knew him best. I have a few clips from his show last week, his Celebration of Life show last week. And we're going to just talk about how influential Kevin Samuels was to the African diaspora, to the manosphere, to black men in general, to black people in general. Okay, and we're gonna get into that now on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live tonight. We are back. We are live. We are here, and we're gonna be cooking with some new topics throughout the week. So do stay tuned. But we're gonna get into this right now. The first man up is Dennis Sperling, and again, one of Kevin Samuels' great and best and closest confidants. And he's going to go into his life and the work of Kevin Samuels himself and how influential he was to Mr. Sperling's life. So Mr. Sperling is a lawyer. He's a lawyer in Texas, and again, he was in need of Kevin Samuels' counsel and services as a image consultant and as a matchmaker. And he got to work with Dennis and proved to be a very influential person in that man's life. So we're going to get into this right now here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on IG and YouTube. Sponsored by Dun Talk, DUNTLK. Let's go. Oh, let me turn on the speaker.
Could loosen up, right? The man literally said that he enjoyed his suits, So, but no, he was a great guy. His impact is being felt around the world. Brilliant mind, brilliant salesman, wonderful personality. He was everything that we needed when he came through. I know that the good Lord has a reason for whatever he does and whatever. So I don't question the Lord. Of course, we wish he could have stayed a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, he made such a great impact on the world that he will always be remembered. And so I just want to acknowledge his family and his friends and his mother and his daughter and his best friend, Jeff. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for keeping the spirit alive. I got one more video I'd like to share with y'all, and you can check it out.
Again, he's going into Kevin Samuels' life and some of his celebrations with Mr. Dennis Sperling, and again, it's quite touching to see now that Kevin has passed away. We're going to move on from there to speak to one of his closest confidants, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Now, O'Shea is a very influential man within the black manosphere. within the Black diaspora, and especially when it comes to dating, relationships, and current events. And yeah, he had a very very close relationship with Kevin Samuels, not Dennis Sperling in and of itself, but with Kevin Samuels, and he's going to explain that relationship to you right now.
Kevin Samuels had, if not even more. So this particular guy was like, Kevin, man, before your show, me and my fiance were getting ready to split up. But after listening to you and the way you break things down, my woman's been appreciating me. She's been acting right. We're getting ready to be back on the track of getting married. And Kevin don't know, you don't know what you've done for me. Is there anything I can do for you? And Kevin was like, nah, man, I'm just glad I was able to do that. But that was a story that Kevin transcended the red pill. He transcended the Black manosphere community. There was white men that loved Kevin. When Kevin passed, I saw comments of people saying if Kevin came to Australia, he would have sold out any stadium. My editor is from Russia, and when Kevin died, there was men in Russia that was mourning. And you never thought about how a Black man from Oklahoma City who did a live stream at 10 o'clock at night trying to reach the Black community had so much of an impact on the world. And he allowed women to be able to see themselves, and they could communicate with women in ways that many of us as Black men could not and still cannot. And that's why somebody like Kevin Samuels comes around once every 200 years, I will believe, because his uncanny ability to relate, and not only just relate, but to inspire both men and women. So on this day, I want to
just to pause that there for a second. I mean, the man said it himself. I mean, he brought people. Not only did he bring people together in terms of dating, relationships, and eventual marriage, but he also mended already set relationships and marriages. He actually stopped a lot of people from getting divorces, a lot of people from ending relationships. He did, because he not only had an eye for for people and wanted to keep people together, but he also saw different rifts. He exposed different ideas, especially in a relationship, because again, things were getting rocky right there. I mean, divorce was on the rise. Let's face facts here. Divorce was on the rise, and he helped to stem that tide. He helped to understand that life is better together, and we had to come together to broker the peace and to come to a reconciliation about people, because Kevin wasn't about conflict. He wasn't about exposing people for memes and such. He was a reflection of who these people were, and if people came with him to him in anger, well, he dismissed of it, but he never tried to do that. And that's what a lot of people didn't get from Kevin, especially in the hundreds of shows he did. Not a lot of people understood that he helped men grow to be better men. He spoke his three again, and you hear from many a person, and you'll hear from me tonight. He focused on men and how they should improve for 3 years before even starting on women. 3 years. He really held men to task for their shortcomings. Quite simply, he did. And if you go back onto his previous shows, which is still online, which is still available, he came to those conclusions himself. He really challenged men to be better men. He did. It's only in his later years, when he became viral for his average and best shows, and he really started focusing on women and how they could play a part in making relationships better, and how they needed to change themselves to make relationships better. Because again, it takes two to tango. There's no doubt about that. And he laid as much blame on men as he did on women. The only thing was, what made him viral was the fact that he did focus on women. Because if he only focused on men, nobody would have known him. He would have only received about 100 to 200,000 subscribers up until now. And life would have been a lot easier. It's only through his focus on women that he became as viral as he did. Because, I mean, again, women don't like to be told the truth. They don't like to be lied to. And with that, Kevin took a lot of heat. Kevin took a lot of flack, and but it made him the person that he was today. He made him into the international internet superstar that he is today. He is one of the most searched men on the internet, next to the Andrew Tates of the world, on the internet, even to this day, even near a year after his death. Kevin Samuels is still very, very much influential, and a lot of people are stealing from his material, which is shameless, to be fair. I hope that the family, that some legal representation go after those who have literally used his words for profit. I do not agree with that at all, and I think it's reprehensible, and I hope that those people are brought to justice, to be fair and frank. But as O'Shea was saying, he was known from the likes of Russia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America, around the world for being, you know, a leader in in dating in relationships and in grooming and breeding, and you had the likes of not only him but Jeremy Fragrance and Alpha M and all these different internet superstars paying homage to Kevin, because not only was he a man who knew so much about dating and relationships, but he knew so much about style and fashion and such. And that's what he was to begin with. He was an image consultant. And as O'Shea was saying, if he had gone to Australia, he would have sold out. I think he was destined for greater things, way, way, way bigger things. He was on the cusp of that greatness. I think he had that appearance on Atlanta shortly before his death in and of itself, which is a very, very good performance, actually. And I think he was well on his way to being one of these superstars in entertainment, in the entertainment industry, but also in the in life coaching and in life improvement, in the life improvement basis. And it's a shame that he was gone way too soon. But we're gonna continue with this.
Give my gratitude to our fallen brother for what he's done for me, not only just in this business but personally. I'm a very hardworking YouTuber, but Kevin really inspired me to want to take it to the next level. And so many of the projects that he and him had, we have one that he inspired me. I don't want to mention the name of it right now, but if it wasn't for Kevin, I wouldn't have that. So I just want to tell his family that I love Kevin Samuels. He's always going to be dear, and it's hard to still believe that he's gone. The last time I talked to him was on May the 2nd, and on May the 5th, he was gone. So I just want to cherish the moment, and I appreciate being able to be invited to speak on his behalf on this great day. So thank you so much for having me, and we'll always remember the great Kevin Rashawn Samuels.
What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels. I'm incredibly honored to be able to speak on and then share some of the experiences that I had with Kevin Samuels as a good friend. I think that he was incredibly insightful. The short amount of time that he had on this earth, because he was taken from us too early, in my opinion, but that's not up to me, that's up to God. I'm very, very, very thankful to have had a friendship with him in the first place. And
We're gonna speed this up a little bit, guys.
things that he espoused and the words that he shared with us, the entertainment that he provided us, it still lives on today. I see it in so many different people. I don't think that the spirit of Kevin Samuels will ever die, because it's affected so many people in so many positive ways. I think that our friendship specifically, and I'll share a couple different things that I've learned from him, even when he didn't realize that I was learning from him. Kev would call me occasionally and would invite me up he said, Anton, what's going on? You getting soft? And I was like, no, Kev, I got a daughter that got to get to school today. And he just started cracking up. He was like, oh, yeah, I forgot it, whatever, so on and so forth. But I think that the biggest takeaway from Kevin and the biggest thing that I learned had nothing to do with any of the stuff, the watches, the superficial stuff. Although Kev was fly, and I think that's another thing that he doesn't get credit for.
No, he doesn't.
Influence on guys to be able to step their game up, not just in their ability to be able to become better men when it comes to relationships and getting their money up, but also carrying themselves a certain type of way. He held a standard that I think that most people would agree with in saying that you have to be the best version of yourself, even when it comes to how it is that you present yourself to the general public. And the thing that
Before he goes on there, my man is right. Kevin Lapeef from the Lapeef Network is absolutely correct. Kevin was so very knowledgeable, not only about, style and taste, and his perfume collection was second to none. As I alluded to earlier, Kevin's scent collection was out of this world. It was stunning. It was literally one of the best, I think, of within the black community in and of itself. This guy had hundreds of fragrances that he put me on, that he put many people on, including one of the best, one of the greater fragrance influencers out there right now, which is Jeremy Fragrance. Jeremy always remembered Kevin as having one of the better scent collections, which is very, very, very little known about that. Not a lot of people know that Kevin was indeed that stylish, that fashionable, had that sort of nose in terms of scents and fragrances. The man was ahead of his time, especially when it came to haberdashery. A lot of black men started getting into being better prepared in terms of their suit game, in terms of their frame game, in terms of their shoe game, and it's definitely in terms of their scent game, was because of Kevin Samuels. A lot of people went out. A lot of black men, especially, went out and started buying suits. A lot of black men started caring about their image. A lot of black men started being their best personal self and realized that, listen, you cannot get through life wearing Jordans and jeans. Can't do it. Can't do it. Sometimes you have to switch your style up, and that's how I first got in touch with Kevin, was the fact that he was an influencer in terms of suit game, in terms of his scent game. He was one of the leaders in that field for a very, very long time, and that's what he was known for at first, especially when it came to male improvement. That was him. But a lot of people wouldn't know that. They think, oh, he's just a sharp dresser. No, he knew what cut of suit to wear. He was a Tom Ford, fashion forward expert, without question. The way his suits were cut, he was a master of the suit game. He was a master of it. He was a master of the scent game, no doubt about that. I have been influenced heavily by Kevin Samuels in terms of his scent game. A few of his fragrances I have myself, that he's recommended I have myself, including a few more, like Hypnotizing Fire, which he talked about incessantly. I still have to get, and I'm still trying to search for it. So, but again, a lot of people took a lot of cues from Kevin in terms of looking your best and feeling your best and making sure that you were your best, especially in the male style space. And as I was saying, Alpha M, who's one of the bigger channels in terms of style and grooming and in fitness improvement, he always he was very, very, very genuflective, if that's a word, of Kevin Samuels and his life, and especially how his hustle game never really ceased. He was always ahead of his time, always working 60 to 80 hours a week. He's always setting an example for all of us men, for all men, especially black men, to do better for themselves and to put your best foot forward. And we all have a huge debt of thanks to Kevin for that. Let's continue.
That I absolutely cherish the most about him is that he would push me, and he would push me without necessarily trying to push me when it comes to what it is that he said to me, but what it is that he said about himself. And he would say, "I know you're not about to let a 50-plus-year-old man outwork you every time," and I think that you can see that work ethic today. I'm not necessarily successful because of anything that I'm doing that's any more unique than anybody else. I think that I am heavily influenced by people that I looked at as mentors, even though they didn't even know that they were mentoring me, and Kevin was certainly one of my mentors. His work ethic was impeccable, and that's the thing that I take from him the most. He truly cared about the people that he rocked with. He always added value in every single conversation, even if he just gave you a He always added value, and you were always trying to figure out how it was that he was able to do some of the things that he was able to do because he was just so talented. And him being able to truly see the growth that he saw prior to his untimely demise, I think that that's beautiful. And we gave him his flowers while he was here. We're certainly going to continue to give him his flowers when he's gone. I think that the legacy of Kevin Samuels does not live in any one of us, but all of us, and that we have to continue to be the best versions of ourselves.
Again, we're going to leave it there with Lapeef, but he's absolutely right. Kevin's legacy will live on. Kevin will be one of the great black men of this 21st century, without question. His influence will last going forward. It's already there. It's already there. He has set a standard for black men that was totally necessary, totally needed, and will live on well into the future. Well into the future. Not only through his work ethic, but through through the bars he set for us to live by and to strive for. And we lost a great one when we lost Kevin, and Lapeef is absolutely right about that. We're gonna go right into our next guest here, which is Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. He was a very, very close friend of Kevin, and again, he took the loss of Kevin very, 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 very serious and very, very much to heart, because again, he was one of the last people who was out with Kevin in his journeys to Las Vegas and to New York before Kevin passed on. And he felt Kevin's loss very, very deeply. And we're going to get into his take on Kevin Samuels and the influence he had on his life right now.
Because we know that you do the same for us. To conclude, I just wanted to share a quick short story regarding the first time that I met Kevin in person. All right, now after months of establishing a friendship with him via the phone, one day he was like, "Yo, let's go to Vegas and let's get some content in," right? So one of the days that we had off, we actually traveled to his personal favorite clothing store of all time, Tom Ford. And when I tell you, when we got in there and it was his arena, it was absolutely his arena. It was like he was at home. I mean, he was the most knowledgeable person in that store regarding the styles, the fits, the colors, what works well with what, the different scents.
Taylor's.
Then the sales associates, right? And they all just stood back and just listened. And I remember thinking to myself that this is a man that knows who he is and that understands his purpose, and he understands what makes him happy in life. And with so many men today struggling to find their individual purpose, watching Uncle Kevin go through that, it was simply a sight to see. Happy birthday, Kevin. You've set an amazing example. You've changed uncountable lives, and your legacy will always live on.
Very well said there by Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. there's no doubt about that. That Kevin had such an influence on all of us. That he was such a such a style master, but also the fact that he helped men be men. He did. He brought the return of the man because, a lot of people were lost. A lot of people were, trying to find themselves, and Kevin helped people find themselves. Countless number of men find themselves. Not only the men, but women as well. There are so many women on the internet right now who are on YouTube right now who use Kevin Samuels as an influence. People like Just Pearly Things. People like Melanie King. People like Crimson Cure. People like let's see, Jesse from Valuetainment. A lot of women these days who have gone through the process with Kevin, have seen Kevin Samuels as their influence, as their mentor. A lot of them were women. A lot of women started out red pill channels, and channels in which women were called to account for their activities and their actions. And it wouldn't have happened if not Kevin having a big influence on their lives. And again, his legacy does indeed go on. But we have a question to answer in a bit. But I'm going to go on into the show, and we're going to
Lead attorney here.
There he is.
I'm so happy to be a part of Kevin Samuels' birthday celebration. He changed so many people's lives for the better. And it certainly changed my life for the better. When I think back to how I first was introduced to Kevin and how our relationship, our friendship began to form, I never would have thought that it would have ended up how it did. So profound an impact that it had on me. When I first started talking to Kevin, it was always through emails, and he would never say my name. He would just say counselor and counselor this and counselor that. Even when he invited me down to Miami for our first collaboration, when I was waiting for him to come down the elevator and I was in the lobby and we met for the first time face to face, I wouldn't necessarily describe his demeanor as cold. Maybe that's too strong of a word, but it was certainly businesslike. It was certainly professional. And in that collaboration, we shot the collab for maybe an hour or so. But then after the cameras went off, he sat there and he talked to me about YouTube. And this was very important to me as a relatively newer YouTuber who didn't have an understanding of the platform, didn't understand how the platform would interact with my life in such a profound way. And he talked to me and gave me so much game for about 2 hours after that collaboration. Lord knows he did not need to do that. He got nothing out of those 2 hours, and to be honest, he got nothing for the collaboration himself. He was just doing it to help me.
Before Lead Attorney goes on, just a little background on Lead Attorney. Lead Attorney is a 20-year family law divorce attorney in the state of Georgia. As you can see, his 2 degrees behind him. They're from the University of Georgia. He's a University of Georgia grad. He, among all people, didn't really need a Kevin Samuels in his life. I think he had his life together in terms of his career and he was pretty much suited and booted pretty much most days. But you would think that he wouldn't need Kevin in his life, but he did. He truly did, because he taught him game about YouTube. He taught him game about life itself, and he really took his counsel, pardon the pun, as as very influential to him, and he took it to heart, and he took it forward in his own career, and now is one of the faster growing YouTube channels on the platform in and of itself, because his content is great. But again, he to have that sort of influence from Kevin, have that sort of counsel from Kevin for 2 hours in and of itself was immeasurable. If I had that, I would deem it as immeasurable. If any YouTuber out there would have counsel from Kevin Samuels, they would deem it as immeasurable. And the fact of the matter is, it's people are so quick to judge, quick to put aside Kevin simply because he called out a person's faults, simply wanted to make them better, and simply because his tone didn't agree with them. And even though the medicine that he was giving them may have been a bit tart, a bit uneasy to swallow, it was for their own good. And it was never done out of malice. It was never done out of sheer ratings. People made themselves into said things, but and he gave out the energy he received, but his life was all about giving. Life was all about making people better than when they first came in contact with Kevin, and a lot of people didn't realize that. A lot more were realizing that just before his death. I think he was just on the cusp of being a great influence on society itself, and he was going to go to the stratosphere in terms of self-help, in terms of life coaching, in terms of self-improvement. He was well on his way to being one of those the greats of not only internet but also the world at large. And it's unfortunate that his passing came too soon, came way too soon. But again, I'll let Mr. Lead Attorney continue with his eulogy about his chat about the life and the influence of Kevin on Mr. Lead Attorney's life.
And as our friendship started to form more, we would talk more over the phone. And then one day, I'll never forget, he sent me an Apple Pay. He sent me some money. He sent me $1. And I asked him, I said, what's up with this dollar? And he said, that is my retainer. And now I've retained you. And now our communications are covered by attorney-client privilege. And that's when he really opened up to me and told me things that really just changed the trajectory of my career here on YouTube and really my life. And the game that he taught me about content creation, about manhood, about life from his perspective as a person from a prior generation. I couldn't have got that knowledge, that wisdom from anywhere else. And now he's gone. But his story, his power did not end there. When we had that collaboration in Miami, he put up a post on his community tab, and it was a photo of me and him at his table, and he was talking to me, and above that photo he put a caption, and the caption was just 2 words, and the caption read, "It continues." And he was right. His story his impact, his influence continues on through me. His story, his impact, his influence continues on through other content creators like mediocre tutorials and reviews, like O'Shea Duke Jackson. His impact, his influence continues on through Anton Daniels, through the Style OG, through Dennis. It continues on through newer content creators like AV to the seventh power. His influence and impact continues on through content creators that have yet to turn on the camera for their first video. But aside,
And that's true. Let's face facts, guys. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be discussing the topics I discussed today without Kevin Samuels' influence. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. He opened my eyes to a whole new world, and especially when it comes to when it came to dating and relationships, he has been an influence not only on my life but on many people's lives. So he was a man of pop culture. There's no doubt about that. He is now a legend. The legend of Kevin Samuels will live on well past his passing. Well past it. He died last year. I see him changing the dynamics, changing the dynamics of life between